What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you yet another World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This is a submission, as per the usual, from Gang Boy, otherwise known as Bondar 007, and it is going to be in his Cromwell. I just realized that I previously did a video from him, but you know what, it's not too big of a deal. The two tanks are different enough, even though they are both British. Pass replay was a TOG too, and right here he says how to get the RHM faster, maybe hacks. Definitely yes, or something along those lines. I'm not quite sure what he's referring to, but as you can tell, it's going to be a standard battle on airfield, the only type of battle mode on this map. And if you've noticed, I kind of lied in one of my previous videos, my 1390 video just 2 videos ago, saying I was going to take a quick break. I found some time to do some recordings, and I've actually been rendering these while visiting my family. Not doing any recording, but just getting a lot of pre-recording in before I left to go visit them for Thanksgiving. But anyway, let's get on to the match right here. Unlike usual, I actually did not read the email or check out the post-game stats. I kind of just jumped right into this one. So I'm really just in the dark as much as you guys are about what the outcome of this match is going to be. It looks like he's trying to zoom in and get a shot on the SC-100Y, but not quite sure if he wants to take the shot. He knows he's not spotted yet. He's trying to do just spotting for his team before he reveals his position. The Cromwell, a vehicle I'm not too familiar with. I've certainly fought them a lot, but I don't know what they function like when it comes to actual performance. So damage is 135, penetration 145, and it looks like it has a very rapid rate of fire. I do know the Cromwell is a preferred tier 6, and by that I mean preferred by professional players, or rather higher caliber players when it comes to playing tier 6, so a lot of people seem to think it's a good vehicle. It looks like it has good mobility, good maneuverability and speed, and a good rate of fire, so a good DPM. And I know that in the campaign, which this is being recorded during the time of the 3rd campaign on the map, and during the first phase, which is all tier 6, I see a lot of people running it, so it must be at least decent. Right here, finally taking some shots for damage and getting a shot off on that T-25 too, knowing that that SU-100Y is aiming at him, backs off just in the nick of time to not get shot. His team taking a pretty effective position in the airfield to the north, and it seems like his team has set up a very strong defensive line, especially in the south. The enemy team's not getting through any of that. A tier 7 and a tier 6 getting taken out, although this is a tier 8 match, so those are going to be somewhat inconsequential in the match to come. Object 416 managing to get a shot off on Bondar, otherwise known as Gang Boy. I'm going to refer to him as just Gang Boy for the duration of this match, even though his new name is Bondar. And right now, a little bit of a calm in the match. Not really all too much happening. This T-25 too pulling up despite being just in a wide open position, and it looks like the RHM, the Roomba as I so affectionately call it, will take him out. 700 damage gun, I believe, is what that thing wields. Maybe 750. It's very similar to the E100 gun, and if it's, I know it's not identical, the penetration of its AP shells is less, but I do believe its damage is the same, which should be 750. The ISU managing to take out a T-150. Still, nothing significant loss for the enemy team. They still have all their tier 8, so it can go either way. This IS-3 just blitzing forward as an IS-3 is so effective at doing. And the Cromwell really not going to be able to get to through its frontal armor. If you were paying attention to his ammo loadout there in the lower bottom part of the screen, you will notice he loaded APCR for that IS-3. That is a good recommendation. 145 penetration will not get through that armor very reliably, especially not through the front, and even in the side, it's going to be a little iffy. The IS-3 trying to take a shot at him right there, and still, a strong lead for Bondar's team. I'm sorry, Gang Boy. I know I said I was going to refer to him as Gang Boy for this match, so I'll try to stay true to my earlier statement. The T-28 being the only loss for his team, now a Hellcat, but the Hellcat has since been pretty heavily nerfed, so not sure if that's really a significant loss. And at the moment, just trying to hold steady. T-3485 blitzing forward. He's very quickly going to die, and Gang Boy is going to help with that. And the IS-3 being the biggest concern. So, each team losing a bit of tanks. Ooh! KV-85 getting eliminated right there. T-44, a tier 8 and a high threat vehicle, blitzing the same path that T-3485 was. Looks like the T-44 will hug that rock and try to just effectively position himself, ignoring Gang Boy for the moment in favor of shooting, I guess, a higher priority target in his eyes. But about to die right here, and it will be Gang Boy getting that final kill shot. The enemy team still down by 3 tanks, and really going to have to make up a lot of ground to have any hope of winning this match. That T-34 barely hanging alive. He should be able to hold on even if he takes a shot for damage here. And it looks like that will not be the case. He's still going to be alive. This 30-01 definitely going to have enough DPM to take him out. If he managed to get off a shot for damage, not the case. And the enemy team Still in a bad position, down 2 tanks. This IS-3, though, very effective for himself. And Gangboy shooting him in that front cogwheel where he needed to actually do damage, getting through that IS-3 with these APCR rounds, and very effectively dishing out damage. And that IS-3 probably not going to last much longer, especially against the Super Pershing and this Cromwell. Unless the T-34 manages to pull up and scare off that Super Pershing. T-34 about to die, and there he goes. Super Pershing getting the kill. And Gangboy's team still having a significant advantage, up 4 tanks. Although the enemy team is making a valiant effort to try and close that gap every now and again, but they just get a little bit too aggressive, take out a few tanks, but then get taken out themselves. So maybe wanting to hang back a little bit more. Gangboy pretty much relying solely on APCR at this point, due to the fact that the vast majority of the enemy team are tier 8s. And the enemy team making up that gap a little bit. Let's look at what tanks Gangboy's team has lost. The only tier 8 being that T-28 prototype. The enemy team losing 1, 2, 3, 4 tier 8s. So significantly at a disadvantage there. That IS-3 barely hanging on for dear life. And so they are definitely at a hit point disadvantage and a tank disadvantage. A very hard position to be in. And certainly it's going to be a miracle if they manage to pull it back at this point. Gangboy moving up because he sees the kill, but does not want to pull out because he is a one-shot. That T-32 could finish him off, but RNG saves the day. And that IS-3 possibly getting a little bit greedy trying to pull up. Gangboy seeing a spot to where he might be able to shoot him should he pull up a little bit too far. And the enemy team closing that tank gap a little bit more. 10 to 8. And that Roomba getting T-32 taking that kill on that Super Pershing, and the T-28 prototype on Gangboy's team managing to take out their St. Emile. But still, no significant losses. Again, a 3-tank lead. Difference, sorry, not lead. And this T-32 not paying attention to Gangboy at the minute, driving out, taking that snapshot, but he realizes just the world of trouble he is in. This T-32 could very well take him out, trying to use the husk of his dead ally as cover. And right here, T-32 overextending and backing up. Like I said, the enemy team getting a little bit aggressive, trying to close that tank gap, going for kills they think they can take, and then just managing to get taken out themselves. The gap right now is 5 tanks, and it is all but over. Gangboy could have probably pulled up and tried and shot that T-32. I'm pretty sure he was still reloading when he had the opportunity to do so. But now that T-32 is certainly reloaded and just looking for the opportunity to get one last kill before his team loses and he dies. Right there, T-32 trying to pull up. He smells blood, and there is the kill shot. T-32 dying quickly afterwards. The T-28 prototype managing to avenge Gangboy's death, saying, ah, well, 2 kills, and a very well-played match. He managed to take on a lot heavier tanks than himself. A lot of tier 8s were coming his way, and he was very effective at damaging them and taking, contributing to his team's victory. Even without his performance, I think his team still would have done fairly well for themselves. It would have still been a victory, but it's not that one-sided of a match. I mean, not what you typically see in World of Tanks these days anyway. The one-sided matches you see in World of Tanks these days are like 10 to 5, 10 to 3. I'm sorry, 15 to 5, 15 to 3, 15 to 1. But this is a 14 to 9, so only a 6-tank difference at this point, and a lot of his tanks are very low health, although this IS-3 is full health. Trying to ram for the kill, but will not happen. And that Roomba looking like he might get that final kill shot if that IS-3 doesn't fire. Nope, Roomba getting RNG screwed over. And the Cromwell Gangboy saying lulz. But overall, very well played for a tier 6 medium, nonetheless, in a tier 8 match. And his team, just a solid victory overall. Not a super close match, but still very well played by both teams. But let's go to those post-game stats and see exactly how well he did. And like I said in the match before, Mastery Badge Ace Tanker, no surprise considering the caliber of tanks he was damaging in such a small vehicle. Getting himself Scout, so certainly lighting up that enemy team in a literal sense, and Confederate for the number of tanks he damaged. I mean, just look at all those vehicles he spotted and all the vehicles he managed to hit. Although he only got 2 kills, whoops, sorry about that scroll, right there on the T-85, 3485 and T-44, so taking out his Russian nemesis, I guess. But for Fire for Effect and Bruiser, minor tokens, but still worth noting nonetheless. Managing to get a total of 2,002 damage for a Cromwell for a tier 6 medium tank. That is massively impressive. He outperformed one of his Roombas, otherwise known as the Borsig, I know a lot of people refer to it as. And really just doing a lot better than a lot of his tier 8s. The T-28 prototype, the IS-3, this T-28 barely doing anything before he died. and outperforming everyone on the enemy team. So certainly impressive. No small feat right there, even though it is a small tank. Unfortunately, he did lose credits since he wasn't running premium. He would have made credits, but it just comes down to the number of shells he fired, the number of APCR rounds he had to sling in order to damage those larger, higher armor tanks. But you do what you have to do to win the match, and he certainly contributed to his team's victory with 28 shots fired, 22 direct hits, and 18 penetrations. Very well played, sir, and I'm looking forward to more replays from you and from all of my viewers. I mean, if you guys got a great game, send it in, and certainly I will give it consideration. Like I said in my replay submission, I always commentate every video, just whether or not they make it to my channel. Right now, for all these 9.3 catch-up games, I am just out of service to those who uploaded them in time before I release those new rules, uploading them. But from 9.4 forward, if I do a replay on it, if I do a commentary on the replay, and at the end of the commentary I feel like it wasn't that exciting of a match, like I couldn't make it interesting enough, I will send you a reply saying, unfortunately, it will not be featured on my channel, but I do still encourage you, even if you get that message saying it won't be featured, to continue to submit. And if you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you got a replay you want to submit, there are instructions in the description below. And if you got suggestions on how I can make my channel or videos better, anything, I will certainly take them in the comments below as well. But until next time, this has been Spang, and I am signing off.